Hello everyone, am I audible? Hello students, am I audible? Am I audible? Can you hear me? Am I audible? Can I get responses from any one of you? Am I audible? Yeah, thank you so much for your kind responses. So, I am at the very beginning, let me introduce myself. My name is Ijaz Ahmed. My name is Ijaz Ahmed. I am the senior faculty at CSAP. And, as you all know, must be knowing, we have been conducting this 3-day workshop. We have been conducting this 3-day workshop since yesterday. Until now, the response has been phenomenal. We were live yesterday also, and we got some very positive responses from you guys for the yesterday's session. And as you all know, the objective of conducting this 3-day workshop, is to help you guys crack the upcoming APSC examination, the notification of which is already out and which has been tentatively fixed at the last week of March. So you know so 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 and so today, as I'm the senior faculty member of history at CSAP, so today the objective of this session is to give you guys an idea and a substantial amount of idea regarding how to go about history in this particular examination. So as you guys must be knowing, history, it matters a lot, because history is a very important subject as far as civil service examination, be it APSC or UPSC, is concerned, because history accounts for a lot of marks. So if you talk about APSC, now APSC has also started modeling itself on the lines of UPSC. And so APSC, since last year, APSC also has started asking questions. APSC also has started asking questions based on, I mean, on the lines of UPSC. So APSC, if you look at last year's question paper, you will find a lot of conceptual questions. So nowadays they test your concepts. They're no longer APSC is no longer concerned with asking fact-based questions. Of course, the questions will be fact-based, but at the same time, they will check your concepts. Okay, at the same time, so you need to be conceptually very clear. Okay, history is no longer about just mugging up the facts and figures. History is all about now. Okay, now that APSC has changed its syllabus, history is also about understanding the concepts, because every fact has a concept behind it. Every development in history has got a reason behind it. So today I will discuss with you the right strategies which need to be followed as far as history is concerned, which accounts for a lot of marks in this examination, which is very, very important. A lot of weightage is being given to the subject of history as far as APSC civil service is concerned. Today I will be discussing about all the strategies which need to be adopted while going about history. Today I'll be giving you guys a brief idea about what all comes under history. Okay, how many categories history has been divided. Also, I will discuss about the importance of Assam history. I'll also give you guys a brief idea about the art and culture, which again is a very important part of history. Okay, and then I will discuss about the significance of history with respect to this examination. Okay, so without any further delay, see, first and foremost, I want to discuss with you a change, okay, a transition which has come about in the domain of preparation of history as far as APSC is concerned. Like I was saying a while ago, earlier APSC was concerned with asking you questions, okay, and if I have to say it in a better way, earlier APSC was concerned with what? Earlier APSC was concerned with, it was basically concerned with what and where. Earlier, APSC was basically concerned with what and where. Now it has started shifting. Now you can see a clear cut shift towards what? You can see a clear cut shift towards how and why. So you need to focus more on how and why rather than where and how. Okay, rather than where and how. For example, we all know, and some of you or all of you must be knowing, that Gupta age, if you talk about ancient India, Gupta age is widely regarded as the golden period, or it is often called as the golden age. Now, more than what it is known as, more than what it is known as, you need to focus on why it is known as the golden age, why it is known as the golden age. At the same time, you need to be clear about how the term golden age came to be associated with the Gupta age. So why and how have become more important than what and where. So you need to approach, you need to approach history with this strategy. This is one of the very, very important strategies that you need to keep in mind while, while approaching history or while studying history as far as APSC is concerned. Now that APSC has started or it has changed its syllabus, way of asking questions. তাহাঁতৰ এতিয়া questions বিলাক বেছি conceptual based হয়। আগতে তাহাঁতি বেছি fact based সুধিছিল, এতিয়া they will check your concepts, whether the student is clear about the concepts. So at CES, at CSAP, we make sure that the concepts of each and every student is clear, is crystal clear. Okay, and we pay a lot of attention to clearing your concepts, because this examination now is all about you know having crystal clear concepts. Okay, and and there is one more advantage which you will have if your concepts are clear. History will become a fun subject for you. Okay, history will become a fun subject for you. History will become easier for you if you are very clear in your mind regarding the concepts of history. Okay, if you are very clear in your mind regarding the concepts of history. Okay, for example, uh, let me give you a very nice example. Okay, for example, we all know that the Aryans, okay, we all know that the Aryans, basically by and large, it is widely accepted in the circles of history that Aryans were the ones who introduced horses in India, that Aryans were the ones who introduced horses, okay, in a significant manner in India. Now, how come? Now, what is the association of Aryans with horses? How come Aryans started having a great relationship with horses? What is the connection of Aryans with the horses? Now, you do not have to remember this question. You do not have to remember this. You do not have to remember this if you know where did the Aryans come from. Now we all know history. It has been widely accepted by historians all over the globe, and by most of the Indian historians, that Aryans came from which region? Aryans came from Central Asian steppes. And if you look at the history of Central Asian steppes, if you look at the geographical history of Central Asian steppes have always been famous for horses. Okay, Central Asian steppes, even today, when I say Central Asia, I'm referring to those five countries, including Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, okay, Kyrgyzstan, and one more country. Which is that one more country? Who can tell me? Which is that one more country? Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and there is one more country by the name of Turkmenistan. So these five countries go on to make Central Asia. So even today, this area is famous. This area is known for producing some of the world's finest horses. So since the Aryans came from that particular region, since the Aryans came from Central Asian steppes, so it was very natural for them to introduce horses. What else they could have introduced in India? So coming back to the significance of having clear concepts. So if you know what Central Asia is famous for, you do not have to remember what exactly was being introduced by Aryans in India. Okay, and if you are clear about the concepts, you will also know about the relationship Aryans have with horses. Okay, now now see, many of us have a fear regarding history. Okay, we just look at the syllabus and we derive a conclusion. We jump to conclusion that history is very vast. So since history is very fast, we cannot cover each and everything of history. So how will I prepare for APSC? How will I crack the examination? Now, let me say this at the very beginning. History might be a vast subject. Okay, I'm not denying that history is a vast subject. History indeed is a vast subject. But we do not have to study each and everything. Okay, we do not have to study each and every historical development as far as civil service examination is concerned. My job, my job as a faculty, my job as a teacher is to highlight the most important things which are important from the point of view of this examination. Okay, my job is to focus on the most important things which are, which are significant, which are crucial for this examination. So once you are clear about those important topics, about the topics, so I will narrow down the most important topics which will make your lives easier. Then history will become a walk in the park for you. It will become very easy. So সকলোবিলাক topic important নহয়, ঠিক আছে? So more as a teacher, key role হ'ব to highlight the most important things. So সেই এটা যে myth আছে যে history বহুত vast হয়, that is a myth which we need to break. আৰু মই সেই mythটো আমি কিয় break কৰিব লাগে? কাৰণ আমি সকলোবিলাক বস্তু পঢ়িব নালাগে, তাৰে যোনবিলাক আটাইতকৈ বেছি লাগতিয়াল বস্তুবিলাক এক্সামিনেশ্যন পইণ্ট অফ ভিউৰ পৰা যোনবিলাক বস্তু ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট, আমি মাথো সেইবিলাক বস্তুৰ ওপৰত ফ'কাছ কৰিলে হৈ যাব। কাৰণ আমাৰ এইম কি হয়, আমাৰ অবজেক্টিভ কি হয়? টু ক্ৰেক দিছ এক্সামিনেশ্যন। Okay, to crack this examination is what our aim is. Another focus, okay, another change is being seen in the APSC syllabus nowadays. Basically, APSC is not very concerned about years and dates. Okay, another fear regarding history, which most of the students, which most of us have, is what? That say, I mean, history, we need to memorize a lot of things, we need to memorize a lot of dates and years. So, how will one do so? It is not possible, it is not humanly possible, is what most of us think. But there is some good news for you guys. Okay, এই APSC যোৱা বছৰৰ পৰা তাহাঁতি চিলেবাছ, নতুন চিলেবাছ বা নতুন ৰূপত তাহাঁতি এক্সামিনেশ্যন কণ্ডাক্ট কৰিবলৈ লৈছে। Another significant change which is seen in this is that they have stopped asking about years. So years, exact years বিলাক মনত ৰখা is no longer important. Like I said, what you need to remember, what you need to be well aware of is the concepts. So concepts are far, far more important than remembering the dates. Of course. Okay, for example, a development as great as Sepoy Mutiny. So you have to remember, even if you forget the exact year in which Sepoy Mutiny had taken place. Okay, even if you do not remember the year 1857 as the year in which Sepoy Mutiny broke out. So even if you remember towards the second half of the 19th century, because 1857 falls in the second half of the 19th century, even if you remember this, your job is done. Because they will not ask you, they will not test, they will not test you on dates and figures. But so you have to at least remember that Sepoy Mutiny took place sometime in the second half of the 19th century. I mean, okay, for example, in the examination, you are thinking that Sepoy Mutiny broke out somewhere in the 20th century, then I mean it's your loss. So you cannot take such a casual approach. But what I'm trying to say is you do not have to remember the exact year. Okay, if you remember it, it's well and good. It's a plus point. But even if you do not remember, even if you forget the exact year in which a historical event had taken place, okay, then I mean it's not a big deal, because nowadays APSC is not very much concerned about checking you on exact years and dates. Having said it, of course, it is always a plus point to remember some of the most important years in India's history. Okay, for example, the first I mean the for example, Battle of Plassey. Okay, for example, Battle of Plassey, Battle of Buxar, then for example the first Battle of Panipat, second Battle of Panipat. So these are some of the years. Okay, for example, when was the Delhi Sultanate established? 1206 AD. So these are some of the dates which you need to remember. But what I'm trying to say is history is full of dates and figures. You do not have to remember each and every date. And my job as a teacher is to highlight the most important dates and years in which which you have to keep in mind. Okay, and trust me on this, those are not very much, those are few, the most important years. Okay, and again, trust me, the moment you start studying history, I'll make it very easy for you guys to remember the facts and figures. Okay, because history is all about the approach, the right approach. And I know just the right approach which will help you remember all the important developments in a very easy manner. Okay, now that we have discussed about some of the strategies and approaches that we need to take regarding history preparation, let me give you guys a brief idea about history. So see, history is basically the way we understand history, And history is all about three parts. Basically, I'm not talking about world history now, because APSC, APSC world history is no longer a part of general studies in APSC civil service examination. Of course, if you have the aim of sitting in the UPSC civil service, then world history still is a part of the UPSC syllabus. But APSC no longer concerns with world history. So now that I'm saying history, I am referring only to Indian history. Now, as we all know, Indian history, it can broadly be divided. Indian history can broadly be divided into three parts. Okay, Indian history starts with ancient Indian history, then comes medieval Indian history, and then comes modern Indian history. Okay, now if you look at the past year's question papers, and if you follow the kind of questions which have been asked by UPSC, you will see that most of the questions, and if you divide the three different categories of history in terms of weightage or in terms of importance being given, then the first in the line will be modern history, the second in line will be ancient history, and the third in line will be the medieval history. Okay, third in line will be the medieval history. So modern history becomes modern history becomes utmost important because history is more important than ancient history. But I am saying in terms of the examination. Okay, most of the questions being asked in this examination in the prelims part are from modern history. Then comes medieval India. Then comes ancient Indian history. Then comes medieval Indian history. Now, let's start with ancient Indian history. Now, what do I mean by ancient Indian history? Ancient Indian history, as far as our syllabus is concerned, as far as the syllabus is concerned, it starts with the what? Paleolithic age. So one of the parts is Paleolithic age. Now, Paleolithic age, like I said, my job is to teach you is I like more things. So Paleolithic age is not very important from the examination point of view, civil service examination point of view. The most important part, the most important part of ancient Indian history, which is the most important APC syllabus of ancient, one of the important parts. I'm listing these things in the chronological order. The first most important thing of ancient Indian history, which you can be very much certain, you can be almost certain that you will get in the prelims as well as is Indus Valley civilization. Now you must be aware about Indus Valley civilization. Now all must be aware about Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization is I'm so sorry for the poor network connection. So, like I was saying, am I audible now? Lakhijit, am I audible? Can you hear me? Yeah, am I audible now? Yeah, so like I was saying, Indus Valley civilization. Okay, Indus Valley civilization basically it deals with what? It tells us what do we need to study? We need to study about the ancient civilization of Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization is an ancient civilization. You can say it is one of the world's oldest civilizations. So automatically it becomes important for us to know a few facts about Indus Valley civilization. So Indus Valley civilization আৰু এটা বৃহৎ ডাঙৰ সভ্যতা আৰু তেওঁলোকৰ বিষয়ে জানিবলৈ মানে there is no end, বহুত বস্তু আছে, কিন্তু again we need to be we need to we need to take an examination oriented approach. Okay, আমি সকলো কথা জানিব নালাগে. We need to focus only on the most important things with respect to this examination. Okay, like for example, Indus Valley civilization itself can be divided into three categories. Okay, Indus Valley civilization ko ako tinta category আমি divide কৰিব পাৰো. ঠিক আছে, early Harappa, okay, mature Harappan phase and post Harappan phase. Okay, or it is also known as what, late Harappan phase. আৰু মই ইয়াত Harappan কিয় কৈ আছো, because চোৱা Indus Valley কি হয়, ইণ্ডাছ ভেলী এটা চিভিলাইজেশ্যন আছিল, এটা সভ্যতা আছিল, আৰু নেচাৰেলি সভ্যতা চিভিলাইজেশ্যন হেজ টু বি ভেৰি বিগ. চ' ইণ্ডাছ ভেলী চিভিলাইজেশ্যনৰ আণ্ডাৰত এগালমান, অ'কে, বহুত গাল চিটিজ বা টাউনছ বা দোজ আৰ ন'ন এজ ছেটেলমেণ্টছ বুলি আমি ক'ব পাৰোঁ. চ' থিংক অফ ছেটেলমেণ্টছ এজ টাউনছ অৰ চিটিজ. চ' কেইবাখনো, অ'কে, অ'কে, কেইবাখনো টাউনছ এণ্ড চিটিজ মিলি, অ'কে, দে কাম টুগেডাৰ টু ফৰ্ম ইণ্ডাছ ভেলী চিভিলাইজেশ্যন. ঠিক আছে, চ' এই আকৌ আকৌ ধৰা টাউনছ এণ্ড চিটিজ বিলাকো, we do not have to remember each and every settlement or town or city. We just need to focus on the most important settlements. We just need to focus on the most important settlements on towns and cities. Again, so মই এতিয়া কৈ আছিলো why Indus Valley civilization is also known as Harappan civilization, because এই যে towns and cities বিলাকৰ ভিতৰত চোৱা এইবিলাক সব বস্তু আমি 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 ডিস্কভাৰ কৰিছো. Okay, the you know, the thing started under the Britishers itself. The and all these are a part of archaeology. আমি খনন কাৰ্য কৰি এইবিলাক বস্তু টাউনছ এণ্ড চিটিজ বিলাক পাইছো. Okay, and the first settlement or the first town to be discovered, I mean, in the context of IVC was Harappa. And where is Harappa located today? Harappa today is a part of what? Harappa today is a part of the Punjab province of Pakistan. Okay, you guys must be knowing that Punjab is one such part. Punjab is one such place which is present in India as well as in Pakistan. Okay, and Punjab, and if we talk about modern Indian history, Punjab was one of the worst affected places, okay, during the time of partition. Punjab along with Bengal, these two areas were worst affected, where hundreds and hundreds of people lost their lives due to the decision being taken, you know, due to partition, as India got divided into India and Pakistan. Now coming back to IVC again, so like I was saying, Ami, we do not have to remember each and every town or city. We just need to focus on the most important settlements. Okay, for example, some of the most important settlements are Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Kalibanga. So these are some of the most important settlements. Lothal. Okay, so these are some of the most important settlements. Then we also need to focus, as far as IVC is concerned, we need to focus on some of the most important aspects of IVC. Number one is economy. Okay, we need to talk about the economy of IVC. সেইখিনি সময়ৰ মানুহখিনিয়ে কি কৰিছিল, how did the economy run, how did the economy of IVC run? So সেইখিনি সময়ৰ মানুহে were they into trading, তাহাঁতি এগ্ৰিকালচাৰ কৰিছিল নে তাহাঁতি ট্ৰেডিং কৰিছিল? যদি তাহাঁতি ট্ৰেডিং কৰিছিল, was it a small time trading, or did they used to were they into big time trading? Did they used to trade with other contemporary civilizations like European civilization and, like, I mean, not European civilization, but Egyptian civilization or Sumerian civilization, which is also known as Mesopotamian civilization. So tahati hebilak contemporary civilizations logot trade korisil niki? Or jodi trade korisil, what are the evidences? Do we have any evidences that show? Do we have any evidences that show that the people of IVC used to trade with those civilizations? So ebilak bostu amar examinationer karone bahut important hoy jay. Okay, all these things become extremely important from the examination point of view. So ebilak bostue ami, as far as IVC is concerned, and IVC, like I said, is one of the most important parts of ancient India. ঠিক আছে, so IVCৰ পিছত আহে আমাৰ in ancient India, one of the then, a very important part is the Vedic period. Now we all are aware about the Vedic period. Vedic period is by and large about the Vedas, because 90%, most of the information that we have regarding the Vedic period is from the Vedas. So basically we need to confine our studies to Vedas. Vedic period is also very, very important for the Vedic literature that came out of this period, that came out as a consequence of this period. Okay, all the Vedic literature might not, they might not have come out during the Vedic age itself, but the Vedic literature, you know, all the Vedic literature can trace their origin to this period. Okay, they can trace their origin to this period. So Vedic literature, for example, under Vedic literature, we need to study about the Vedas. We need to focus on the Brahmanas. We need to focus on Aranyakas. We also need to focus on one of the most important parts of Vedic literature, that is Upanishads. So that is Vedic period. And again, another very important part of Vedic period is we need to study about the economy of the Vedic people and the religion of the Vedic people. Okay, religion and economy, these are two of the most important things that we need to study about the Vedic period as well as about IBC. Always keep that in mind. So after the examination, or cross-examination, not about the rules. Yes, okay, Magar, very much from the examination point of view. But what is more important is, yes, most important religions that came out of India. Those two religions are Buddhism and Jainism. Okay, so age of Mahajanapada automatically becomes important for us due to these two religions which are of utmost significance. Age of important. So age of Mahajanapada is very important. I mean, you Hello, students. Am I audible now? Am I audible now? Arindam, am I audible now? Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry, there was some network issue at my end. Can you hear me now? Am I audible, students? Arindam, can you hear me now? Yeah, so like I was saying, I was talking about the age of Mahajanapadas. Okay, so after the age of Mahajanapadas, another very important topic of ancient India is the Mauryan Empire. And see, Mauryan Empire itself is very important, but if I have to pick up some of the most important parts of Mauryan Empire, if I have to pick up some of the most important parts of Mauryan Empire, then I will have to talk about what? I will have to talk about, if I have to rank them, then first and foremost comes Ashoka. First and foremost comes Ashoka. Now, if you know how to, if you know this, what is important for the examination, what is less important for the examination, what is more important for the examination, then things become easier for you. So, like I was saying, Ashoka is the most important part of the Mauryan Empire because Ashoka's policy of Dhamma is world famous. Dhamma is world famous. So, our concept regarding Dhamma needs to be clear cut. Our concept regarding Dhamma needs to be very clear. Was Dhamma an attempt? Okay, so Dhamma ki asil? Dhamma, because we all know Ashoka became a Buddhist. So was Dhamma an attempt by Ashoka to promote Buddhism? Examinationত সুধিব পাৰে এইটো বস্তু. Was Dhamma an attempt by Ashoka to promote Buddhism, or it was beyond religion? It was beyond religion. Then again, talking about Ashoka in the examination, they might ask you another question. Okay, if not in the prelims, then in the mains. That you know that are we is Ashoka, is I mean if not in the mains, they might ask you to make a comparison. Okay, they might ask you to make a comparison. They might ask you to make a comparison between Ashoka. They might ask you to make a comparison between Ashoka and Akbar. Now, if you do not know what makes Ashoka similar to Akbar, or what makes Akbar similar to Ashoka, then how will you write? So concepts need to be very much clear as far as history is concerned. Okay. Now, after Ashoka, see, Ashoka is not the only important part of Mauryan Empire. The other important part of Mauryan Empire is Arthashastra. Now, Arthashastra, you all might be knowing that Arthashastra was authored by Chanakya. Okay, Arthashastra was authored by Chanakya. But what we do not know is why Arthashastra is important from the examination point of view. Why Arthashastra is important from the examination point of view. Now, why it is important from the examination point of view? It is important from the examination point of view because Arthashastra continues to shape India's foreign policies. See, there's a subject which is important for the which is important from the point of view of civil service examination, and that subject is what? International relations. So when you study international relations, then you realize the significance of foreign policies. Okay, foreign policies, the policies which are undertaken by India with respect to other nations. So the significance of Arthashastra, why do we need to know about Arthashastra? We need to know about Arthashastra because the policymakers, or the people who are responsible for making foreign policies, they still take inspiration from Arthashastra. Just imagine something which was composed so many centuries back. Okay, something which was composed so many centuries back, it goes on to inspire people even today. That is the significance of Arthashastra. Okay, now after that, after the Mauryan, we need to focus on post-Mauryan. Okay, post-Mauryan era is basically about what? Post-Mauryan era is basically about the emergence of certain provincial powers, because Mauryan administration was a central administration. Okay, centralization of power, like we said. But after the fall of the Mauryas, started the rise of certain small kingdoms in different parts of India. Now, post-Mauryan period is also important because of certain foreign invasions. Certain foreign groups started invading India. So we also need to be aware about those things. And why are those foreign groups important? See, each and every foreign group is important. Okay, the foreign groups started invading India, starting with which was the first foreign group which invaded India after the fall of the Mauryans? The first foreign group was Indo-Greeks. And like Indo-Greeks, and which is the most important foreign group to invade India? The Kushanas. And who is the most important ruler among the Kushanas? The answer is Kanishka. And so we need to focus more on Kanishka than any other foreign ruler who invaded India at this point in time, or who belongs to any of these four foreign groups which invaded India after the decline of the Mauryas. Then Kushana, we need to be very clear about the role being played by Kushana. Why there is a strong possibility of the examiner asking you a question about Kushana. Kushana is world famous. Kushana is most remembered. Kushana is most remembered because of what? Because Kushana has got a very strong connection with Silk Route. So if you remember this, the rest of the journey becomes easy. Kushana, the moment you hear the word Kushana, you have to link Kushana. The moment you hear the word Kushana, you have to link Kushana with Silk Road. That is his most important contribution. That he that he made Silk Road a part of India. Okay, that he made Silk Road a part of, if not India, then at least a part of his empire. Due to which Kushanas started earning a lot of money, due to which a lot of gold coins started flowing into India, and in no history that it was out of all the groups that have ever come to India, and out of all the groups that have ever come to India and started issuing coins. Okay, out of all the groups that have ever come to India and started issuing coins, the purest, the purest coins were issued by the purest coins were issued by the purest coins were issued by the Kushanas. Okay, the purest coins were issued by okay, the purest gold coins were issued by the Kushanas. And how were the Kushanas able to do this? How were the Kushanas able to do this? Kushanas were able to issue the purest gold coins because they were getting a lot of gold coins, as Silk Route was made a part of whom? Silk Route was made a part of his empire. So because of this connection, the Kushanas started getting a lot of gold coins. Because they started getting a lot of, they started getting a lot of gold. And as a lot of gold started flowing into India, Kushanas were in a position to issue the purest of gold coins. So if you know this connection between gold and the Kushana Empire, then it becomes very easy for you to remember that it was the Kushanas, it was not the Indo-Greeks or the Sakas or the Indo-Parthians who started issuing the purest gold coins. Okay, not even the Mughals could issue gold coins as pure as the Kushanas. Let me tell you that. So, not even the Mughals. We all know how mighty the Mughals were, but not even the Mughals were able to issue gold coins as pure as the ones being issued by Kushana. So, you can well imagine how pure the gold coins issued by Kushana were. Okay, now after the post-Mauryan period, the period which becomes very important for us, after the post-Mauryan period, the period which is important or very very important from the examination point of view is the Gupta age. So and why is Gupta age important? Gupta age is mainly important. See, Gupta age is not important for long distance trading. Okay, if you talk about long distance trading, as far as long distance trading is concerned, okay, as far as long distance trading is concerned, post Mauryan period is important. Long distance trading, okay, remember long distance trading was also important during Indus Valley civilization. But for a long, long time, long distance trading, Indians had lost the touch of long distance trading. It was revived to its fullest extent only in the post Mauryan period, okay, by foreign groups, like by foreign groups. If you talk about one of these four foreign groups which was involved extensively in long distance trading, it was the Kushanas. But along with the foreign groups, there were also certain regional powers which had flourished during the post-Mauryan period. And one of the two of the most important regional powers which had flourished during this period, number one, Sadvahanas, who were also involved in long-distance foreign trade, and the other was a South Indian kingdom which also flourished. Okay, and those were the Pandyas. Pandyas of Madurai were also involved in long-distance trading. Now, but like I was saying, the Gupta period, which comes after the post Mauryan period, is not very important with respect to long distance trading. Why? Because by this time, trading with other foreign countries, mostly with the Roman Empire, trading with the Roman Empire had declined. Why trading with the Roman Empire had declined by this time? Due to various factors. And one of the most important factors was that by this time, Roman Empire, okay, okay, see, Roman Empire by this time, okay, a few, I mean, by this time the Roman Empire was divided into two categories, but Roman Empire was divided into two parts not because of some dispute which had arisen, but because of, they thought that it would be easier for them to administer. So there were two parts. But the eastern part, okay, the the eastern part of the Roman Empire was flourishing, but the western part of the Roman Empire by this time was invaded by certain groups like the Goths, by certain Germanic tribes like the Goths. And as a result of that invasion, so তাহাঁতৰ যেতিয়া দেশখনে তোমাৰ এটা গ্ৰুপে বা তোমাৰ certain গ্ৰুপছে যদি ইমান বেয়াকে ইনভেড কৰি আছে, how they can involve in long distance trading, ঠিক আছে? So as a result of which long distance trading declined. So as a result of which, the Guptas suffered. Gupta বিলাকে Roman Empire লগত সেই যেনেকে তোমাৰ কুশানাস বিলাক বা সতবাহানাস বিলাক they were engaged, ঠিক তেনেধৰণে engage হৈ থাকিব নোৱাৰিলে. So at the very beginning, I must have told you guys that Gupta age is known as what? Gupta age is known as golden age. So golden age বুলি আমি এই কাৰণে নকওঁ যে তোমাৰ Gupta age বা Gupta rulers বিলাক long distance trading ত involved আছিল. But we call Gupta age as the golden age because of its contribution to art and culture, because of its contribution to scientific literature, because of its contribution to metallurgy, that is technological developments. Because of all these reasons, and Gupta age is also remembered because Guptas were the dynasty which had issued the highest number of coins, highest number of gold coins. They had issued the highest number of gold coins, but their gold coins were not as pure as the ones being issued by Kushanas. Why? Because like the Kushanas, the Guptas were not involved in long distance trading. Hodai monot thoba. India gold, as far as gold is concerned, India has always had to face a deficit of gold because India's domestic production, India has always faced shortfall of gold as far as domestic production is concerned, because of which India had always to be, India always had to be dependent on foreign countries. So gold, when will when will India have a surplus amount of gold? Whenever India is engaged in long distance trading. So the Gupta age or Homayat, India was not involved in long distance trading, because of which Guptas were not able to issue the purest gold coins. Okay. Now, so Gupta bilakor pasot, so Gupta bilakor pisot automatically starts medieval India. The first part of medieval India starts with the end of the Gupta rule. ঠিক আছে? Now, if you talk about medieval India bhitorat, okay, some of the most important things which come under medieval India are: number one, Delhi Sultanate, then the Mughal rule. And be it Delhi Sultanate, see, Delhi Sultanate had many rulers. Okay, Delhi Sultanate had many rulers, but again, we do not have to study about each and every ruler. We need to focus our energies only on the most important rulers. Now, if I have to pick up the most important rulers of the Delhi Sultanate, one would be Iltutmish, then Balban, then Alauddin Khilji, and then Muhammad bin Tughlaq. And to some degree, we can also talk about Firoz Shah Tughlaq. So these are the most important rulers of the Delhi Sultanate. Why is Iltutmish important? Because Iltutmish was the real founder of the Delhi Sultanate, and Iltutmish had made a lot of contributions. For example, Ikta system was introduced by him. Why is Balbal important? Theory of divine kingship. What is the meaning of theory of divine kingship? Say, I have been given the duty to rule by God Himself. Or you can say, I am a representative of God on earth. That theory was introduced by Balban, because of which Balban becomes important. Why is Alauddin Khilji? Alauddin Khilji is one of the most spectacular uh, rulers as far as Delhi Sultanate is concerned. Alauddin Khilji is best known for his price control measures. Okay, price control measures. He tried to control the market policy. He tried to control the prices. Okay, now there were various reasons why he tried to do so, but he tried to control the prices of some of the most essential commodities. And in doing so, he was one of the first rulers in the entire world, or you can call him the first ruler who ever tried to control the prices of the most essential commodities. So he's best known for that. Why is Muhammad bin Tughlaq important? Like, see, Muhammad bin Tughlaq is an exception. Okay, Muhammad bin Tughlaq is an exception because a ruler generally is known for his achievements. but Muhammad bin Tughlaq is known for his failures. Okay, and four of his failures are very famous. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq is known for his failures. For example, shifting of his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, then again back from Daulatabad to Delhi. So like this, he's known for his failures. Then after that, you know, again, we need to focus our energies on the Mughal Empire. Now, as far as Mughal Empire is concerned, again, we need not study about each and every Mughal empire. We need to study and see each of the important Mughal empires, each of the important Mughal emperors is important for a different purpose. For example, Akbar is important for a different purpose. For example, Akbar is important as far as Akbar is concerned. He is best known for his Rajput policy. He is best known for his secular approach. Okay, Akbar. Now if you talk about Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan is best known for his contribution to what? Shah Jahan is best known for his contribution to architecture. Shah Jahan is best known for his contribution to architecture. You do not have to know about the policies, you do not have to know about the wars and about the battles being fought by Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan was best known for his contribution to architecture. Now if you talk about Jahangir, Jahangir, interestingly, is best known for his contribution to art and culture. Okay, because Jahangir is best known for paintings. Okay, Mughal painting. Okay, Mughal painting, or you can call it miniature painting. Okay, it's a form of painting. We have to study about paintings under art and architecture in great detail. So Mughal painting reached its peak under Jahangir. So Jahangir is important because of this. Then Aurangzeb, okay, Aurangzeb is the last important Mughal ruler. He is important because of his, because of certain radical decisions, because of certain controversial decisions which he took. That's it. Okay. Medieval India, we need to study this much under medieval India. Then starts modern India. And modern India, even in modern India, not everything needs to be studied. Okay. If you know the approach, trust me, history becomes very easy as a subject. Now, as far as modern India is concerned, you know, the first important topic that we need to discuss is, advent of the Europeans, how the Europeans came to India, which was the first European power to come to India and which was the last European power to leave India. Interestingly, the first European power to come to India and the last European power to leave India is the same. And the answer is Portuguese. They were the first European power to come to India and they were also the last European power to leave India. They left India when Goa was finally liberated. Okay, in the early part of the 1960s, when Goa was liberated, okay, then the Portuguese left India officially. So they were present in India even after India achieved their independence. ठीक है sir? Now, after the advent of the Europeans, then we need to study about the various policies being adopted by the Britishers. Okay, various policies being adopted by the Britishers to strengthen their rule in India. Okay, to strengthen their rule in India and what exactly helped them. We also need to focus on why out of the four European powers, Britishers became the most powerful. Who were the enemy? Okay, which European power was the most important rival of the Britishers? And that was French. So how come in the struggle for supremacy between French and the British, how come the British emerged? Okay, how come the British emerged? How come they became the more powerful European power? So there has to be a reason, and one of the most important reasons which helped the Britishers become more powerful than the French was the conquest of Bengal, because Bengal at that time was the richest province in India. The moment the Britishers captured Bengal, okay, the resources of Bengal, they became the actual owners of the resources of Bengal, and it helped them defeat the French, and it also helped them become the absolute, or become the, it also helped them become the most important power, or the ultimate power in India. Okay, then we need to study about the various, see, once they became the most important power in India, they adopted various strategies in order to strengthen their rule in India. They also adopted various strategies to expand their rule in India. And two of the most important strategies or policies being adopted by the Britishers to expand their rule in India were subsidiary alliance and the doctrine of lapse. Now, these two policies were attempted or adopted by the Britishers for what? In order to expand their rule in India. Okay, and they were successful. They were successful to a huge degree. Then the next important event that we need to study is Sepoy Mutiny of 1857. Okay, Sepoy Mutiny of 1857. Then right after Sepoy Mutiny of 1857, a very important change takes place as far as the British rule is concerned. That is, in the year 1858, Act of Good Governance is passed. And what happens as a result of that? British Crown takes over. Okay, so before 1857, the British rule in India is about the rule of the British East India Company in India. But after 1857, the British Crown takes over and the British Crown starts ruling India. Okay, so then we need to shift our attention. Then we need to shift our attention to then the most important event that takes place is the formation of Indian National Congress in 1885. Okay, formation of Indian National Congress in 1885. And by this time the national consciousness had slowly started to begin among the Indians. Then we need to study about the moderates and the extremists, the two groups of freedom fighters, the two groups of the earliest freedom fighters of India, the moderates and the extremists. Now when we talk about the moderates, one of the most important things that we need to focus on is the drain of wealth theory. What is the drain of wealth theory? Drain of wealth theory. And who gave this theory? This theory was given by Dadabhai Naroji, one of the moderate leaders, one of the most important moderate leaders. And what is the drain of wealth theory and what did it do? It exposed it exposed the British rule in India. It exposed the cruel side of the British rule in India. If I have to say this in utmost simple words, okay, it showed how the Britishers were looting India, how the Britishers were draining India of its wealth. So, drain of wealth theory is very, very important from the examination point of view. Then came the extremist leaders. Among the extremist leaders, one of the most famous leaders was Aurobindo Ghosh. Okay, then we need to focus on, and after the extremist leaders, we need to focus on the Swadeshi movement, which is also known as Vande Mataram movement. And Swadeshi movement is important. And Swadeshi movement arose because of the British decision to partition Bengal. Okay, as the nationalistic movement was gathering momentum in Bengal, the Britishers decided to partition Bengal. Okay, to take the steam out of the movement. And the Indian nationalists, they came to know about the real intention. They started a movement by the name of Swadeshi movement. Swadeshi movement is also one of the first instances when Indians started boycotting foreign goods, because of which it also came to be known as Swadeshi movement. Now, uh, then after that, after the Swadeshi movement, the next important development is the Mole Minter reforms. Mole Minter reforms is mostly remembered. It is very important because of one factor. Because Mole Minter reforms for the first time introduced separate electorates for Muslims. What is the meaning of separate electorates for Muslims? That only there will only be Muslim candidates who will run for elections, and only Muslim people can vote for those candidates. So both the people as well as the candidates belong to the same religion, that is Muslim. And why separate electorates is Muslim? Separate electorates for Muslims is important because offering separate electorates for Muslims was the beginning of communal politics in India. The Britishers, as we all know, they are famous for their divide and rule policy. They are famous for their divide and rule policy, and it all started with this: offering separate electorates to Muslims. It all started with this. Okay, ठीक है sir? Then the next important thing is, 1911. In the year 1911, a decision was taken because Swadeshi movement was a huge success. So the Britishers, they decided to annul the decision to partition Bengal. Okay, so the decision to partition Bengal resulted in failure, and at last they decided to cancel that particular decision. And and 1911 is also important because in the same year the capital the capital of the British Empire was shifted from Bengal to Delhi. Okay. Now, after that, the next important event is the entry of Mahatma Gandhi in Indian politics, in Indian political scenario. ठीक है sir? And then after Mahatma Gandhi enters into the Indian political scenario, the you know the one of the most important thing that happens is the protest against the Rowlatt Act. Okay, Rowlatt Satyagraha. Rowlatt was the name of a justice, and the act came to be known as, and that justice had passed an act by the name of Rowlatt. So Mahatma Gandhi did not like it, so he started Rowlatt Satyagraha. He asked all the Indians to stand to practice Satyagraha. Now Satyagraha was promoted by Gandhiji. What is the meaning of Satyagraha? Satyagraha was one of the most important principles of Mahatma Gandhi. Satyagraha stood on two pillars. One pillar was truth, the other pillar was non-violence. ठीक है sir? The Rowlatt Satyagraha was started by Mahatma Gandhi in protest against the Rowlatt Act. But unfortunately, that resulted in a massacre which today is known as Jallianwala Bagh massacre of 1919. Because when the people of Amritsar were protesting in a silent way, they did not have any arms. They were protesting in a very silent manner. General Dyer shot at them mercilessly and indiscriminately, which resulted in the death of around 5,000 people. ठीक है sir? So, you know, after that, from around 1920 onwards, the Khilafat movement is important, and along with Khilafat movement, the non-cooperation movements was also started by Mahatma Gandhi. Khilafat movement was actually started by Ali brothers, and Mahatma Gandhi thought of merging non-cooperation movement was with Khilafat movement. It resulted in, because Khilafat movement was a religious movement. Because Gandhiji merged non-cooperation movement with Khilafat movement, so it resulted in the participation of a lot of Muslims, which helped, okay, which helped giving this non-cooperation movement a new momentum. Now, after that, after non-cooperation movement, the next important thing which we need to study, after non-cooperation movement, the next important thing which we need to study is a session, is a session of INC, Indian National Congress, which is known as Lahore session of 1929. Why Lahore session of 1929 is important? Because it was in this session that the slogan of Purna Swaraj, the resolution of Purna Swaraj, was adopted by Indian National Congress. Okay, then the next mass movement which becomes important for us is the civil disobedience movement, which was started by Gandhiji, and it was started by Gandhiji in two phases. The first phase ended with Gandhi Irwin Pact, and the second phase. And why was civil disobedience movement launched? Civil disobedience movement was launched because Simon Commission was a failure. Indians did not like the fact that in the commission there was not a single Indian. So in retaliation, Mahatma Gandhi started civil disobedience movement. Okay, so civil disobedience movement. After civil disobedience movement, we need to study about the Government of India Act, which was introduced by the Britishers in 1935. Why that act was important? Because most of the things that most of the Indian constitution has taken a lot of things from this particular act, which was introduced by the Britishers in India by the name of Government of India Act 1935. It is one of the most comprehensive British laws in India. And after that, the next mass movement, which is very important from the examination point of view, is Quit India movement. Why Quit India movement was important, and how was it different from non-cooperation or civil disobedience movement? It was different in this view, or in this respect, that the Quit India movement was never called off by Gandhiji. That the Quit India movement was never withdrawn by Gandhiji. It was continued. It was it was continued by Gandhiji. It was never withdrawn by Gandhiji. ठीक है से? Be it non-cooperation movement or be it civil disobedience movement, they were withdrawn by Gandhiji, but Quit India movement was never withdrawn by Gandhiji. So it was very unique. QIM is also important because this movement saw active participation of women leaders like Aruna Asaf Ali and Usha Mehta. Okay, so QIM is very, very important, and QIM ended only with India's independence. Okay, like for example, if we talk about Assam history, so these are the most important things which are important from the point of view of Indian history. Then Assam history, the most important part that we need to study about Assam history is the Ahom rule, the 600 glorious rule, the 600-year glorious rule of the Ahoms, the achievements of the Ahom rule. We need to focus on, Ahom Mughal relations. How did the wars start? Why did the war start? Then we also need to focus on some of the most important monuments being built by the Ahoms in India. I mean, in Assam, and most of the monuments are located in and around the town of Sivsagar. We need to, as far as the prelims is concerned, we need to know who built which monument. Okay, Hiwadol was built by whom? Joysagar Pokhuri was dug by which king under the orders of which king or queen? So all these things important from the examination point of view. Some of the Ahom era temples are also located in Guwahati, like Umananda Temple. Okay, these are Ahom era temples, like Sukreswar Temple. Sukreswar Temple, the place where Sukreswar Temple is located today, it is located on Itakholi Hill. It was the same place where Battle of Itakholi was fought. Itakholi Hill used to be the base of Lasit Borfukon. Okay, Itakholi Hill used to be the base of Lasit Borfukon during the Battle of Saraighat. Okay, we also have to know that only after the Battle of Saraighat, Sukreswar Temple was built on that region. So Sukreswar Temple, the place where Hukreswar Mandir is located today, it is the Itakholi Hill. So all these things are important from the point of view of history. And regarding art and culture, under art and culture, we need to study about art and architecture. We need to study about some of the most important dances, because every region in India has got its own dance forms. Then we need to study about various crafts. Then we need to study, also we need to study about one of the things which is becoming very important now, that is geographical GI tag, geographical identification. GI tag. Recently, Gamusa has also got our pride. Okay, the pride of every Assamese. Gamusa has also got the GI tag. So GI tag is again a part of art and culture. The various styles of temple. The temple architecture also follows different styles. For example, Nagara style of temple architecture, Dravida style of temple architecture, Vesara style of temple architecture, Gujarat style of temple architecture, Odisha style of temple architecture. So all these are different styles of temple architecture which are important from the examination point of view. Okay, but always keep one thing in mind. APSC, as far as GS paper 1 is concerned, 30 to 35 percentage of the questions will be related to Assam. So you need to pay a lot of attention to Assam, whether it is Assam history, geography, or environment of Assam. Okay. Now, having said that, you all, I'm very happy. I'm very happy to let you guys know that CSAP is introducing a free APSC CCE Prelims 2022 course. Okay, which is starting from the 3rd of June 2023. Now, some of the important constituents of this course are, highly intensive MCQ live online classes. And let me repeat, this is a free APSC CCE Prelims 2022 course, which will be starting from 3rd of Jan 2023. And it will be 100+ hour course. Okay, it will be 100+hour course. Other than that, important relevant static topics will also be discussed and explained. Okay, along with that, apart from that, 2 years current affairs compilation will also be done. 30 mock tests for APSC prelims will also be conducted. 30 mock tests. Mock tests are very important. It will give you more confidence. Okay, it will help you crack this examination. And last past year question paper with solved answer will also be given. Okay, now CSAP is also introducing another prelims crash course for APSC CCE 2020-23 at just rupees 15,000. The course fee is just rupees 15,000, and the batch will be starting. This batch will be starting very, very soon. Again, some of the most important aspects of this course would be highly intensive special classes for 1,000 important topics. Just imagine, for 1,000 important topics, highly intensive classes. We will offer you highly intensive classes. Apart from that, the prelims lecture would be 300+hours. Okay, 300+hour prelims lecture. Then prelim study materials would also be provided to you, and our study materials are of the best quality. Then 2 years current affairs compilation, 25 years previous solved question papers. Now, if you solve the question papers of the past 25 years, it becomes very easy for you to crack this examination. We will make sure that each and every one of you cracks this examination. Then 30 prelims mock test series and CSAT lectures will also be provided to you. And this course is offline. Okay, this course is not online but offline. It costs you only 15,000 rupees. Then we are starting another course, that is prelims crash course for APSC CCE 2020-23 online course. And the online course fee, the course fee, we are charging a very nominal course fee for the online course, that is only rupees 5,000. Okay, only rupees 5,000. Again, highly intensive special classes for 1,000 important topics will be provided. Prelims lectures of 300 plus hours, prelim study materials, then 2 years current affairs compilation, then 25 years previously solved papers, and CSAT lectures will also be offered to you guys. Okay, on that note, I am ending the second day of the workshop. I hope it was very valuable. I hope it was very, I hope it was very useful for you guys. And trust me, if you join CSAP, the journey of civil service or the journey of cracking civil service examination, it becomes very pleasurable. Okay, on that note, thank you so much for attending this session. Okay, see you guys, and all the best for the upcoming examination. Thank you so much.